Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start our lesson 4. Today lesson will go through LO4 learning outcome 4. My name is Anjum Satar and my email address anjum@ukversity.co.uk. If you have any question, please drop me email. Today lesson will go through LO4, which is about understand the needs for the professional ethics. We know professional ethics, popular people chat in office, 5 professional code of ethics, which we'll go through in detail, and when completing assurance engagement, when you deal with the assurance engagement with your clients. Okay, we'll go through. Okay, so in the previous lesson, what we learn? We learn about audit assurance, we learn about internal control, internal audit, we discuss IES 500 and types of assurance. Is it negative, positive assurance, and auditor never give the absolute assurance. That's we learned in the previous lesson. Okay. Today lesson is on scale 1 to 1, scale 1 to 10, please. Always good to be reflect what you know about the ethics. So spend few minutes, please. Just think about. Okay, editor and professional ethics. So we can remember this by just memorizing popular people chat in office. Some people are very famous, they carry on chatting in office. So that's the word. So what is the P stand for first? First P is the professional behavior. So auditor and accountant both have to be keep the professional behavior. What is the professional behavior? Think about example, we are doing VAT return and your senior asks you, don't include the invoice in this quarter, this should go in the next quarter. And intentionally we missing, and the next quarter we just putting the figures in our next statement so we can save this quarter VAT, and the payment we can make into, and so we can make adjustment in the next quarter. So when we are doing intentionally, even it's come under fraud, and it's not a professional behavior as well. Yes, we're not supposed to do like this. Okay, second is the professional competencies and due care. It's mean up to date knowledge. Think about finance act every year's change. And as an accountant and as I detail and the rules and the legislation, we should be up to date. Like recently, we have a general data protection regulation which is changed back in 2018. And as professional auditor, we should aware of it. COVID-19 restrictions and COVID-19 rules, auditors should be aware of when do the audit, how the company behave it and set the policies in our organization following the legislation. Yes, flexible working hours, like if you're working in the shift pattern as a company, if the employees ask you to work in different shift, you have to make certain arrangement if we can, and we can offer flexible working shift pattern. So if we not, so it mean we don't have that knowledge, we're not professionally competent and due care. So that's other issue we have. Okay, next we have confidentiality. We not disclose any confidential information to third party without the client permission. Without the client permission. So, is there any chance when we should declare the information, even client don't give us the authority to disclose? Yes, we can only when it's a wider interest of the public. If somebody involved in the money laundering and we're supposed to be let the authorities know about it. So that's called confidentiality. But we're not in under that situation. We are not breaking the legislation. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, next we have our professional ethic. It's called integrity. What is meant by integrity? Integrity means honesty. We should be honest. We should give the honest opinion. We should give the true and fair views about it. that this company is a going concern, and it means the business will carry on at least 12 months or foreseeable future. Objectivity. So there are no biased or conflicting things like you have an investment in that company, you have a close family relationship, your objective is a true and fair and make the statement and give the views according to the audit standards. So that's, we need to look around so objectivity can't be compromised. Okay, who set these ethics? Is International Ethics Standard Board for Accountant, IESBA, International Ethics Standard Board for Accountant, set these ethics. So guys, so these are the keywords really today lesson. Today lesson we have explained the role of profession. Professional ethics play the key role in any organization. It's improve the moral and ethical principle. So what is ethic? Ethics are the moral principle. It's play the role to run the organization and behave in an ethical manner. Analyze how the principle of professional behaviors protect the public and fellow professionals. Yes, so we can look around the public. We always need to be work in the wider interest of public. So professional behavior help to be work in the best interest of the society, not best interest of your company just. You have to look around the wider stakeholders' interests and fellow professional. Yes, treat respectfully, honorably, all these the things which we'll go through in detail. Explain the threads, 5 professional code of threads, which we'll go through in detail. It's a self-interest. When you have an investment in the company and you're preparing account for, you have a self-interest. So maybe you not prepare the accounts right. Self-review. If you prepare and bookkeeping and now you're doing audit, so it's a self-review thread. Integrity, familiarity. Maybe we know each other very well and we not reflect it, their mistake. Yes, intimidation threat. Somebody intimidate you, your job will be at risk. Otherwise, we don't pay you money if you don't give opinion based on. So we can compromise. These threats can lead to compromise our 5 professional code of ethics. Evaluate the importance of confidentiality. Yes, confidentiality is very crucial when you do audit engagement with your clients. Okay. Let's please. Next, we're looking now indicative content, role of ethical code, relation to the assurance activity, rule-based. Okay, ethics is a principle-based approach. Rule-based is the legislations, such as data protection, fraud act. These are rules which is passed by Parliament, and the principle is set by this ethics, like standard board, ethics standard board. So threads of the fundamental ethics: self-interest, self-review, management, advocacy, familiarity, intimidation. That's all which we need to. Okay, next we're looking now, guys. First, ethics and audit. It is vital auditors can offer a credible opinion. So need to be comply with the relevant ethical guidance. This is the first explaining, yes, issues that the threaten the editor's independency. Editor should be safeguard the audit firm can be put in place to ensure they remain independent from their client. So we can look around. Ethics is a concern with the behavior, trying to be ensure the editor acts in the professional manner, remain independent from the client, follow the ethical guidance, perceive the following ethical guidance. There is a difference between these two requirements becoming evident, and we consider one of most. So we have at the end of this, which we can look around, explain. Yes, we can maybe think about in everyone is involved in audit per professional will remain the case of like in US, like Enron, and it's a details. It's a Anderson, the company who involved in Enron collapse. Yes, Supreme Court is convention overturned by the Supreme Court, but the point was the reputation of the Anderson already damaged. Okay, lot of standards being changed due to. Okay, Guys, next we're looking ethics. Ethic is a set of moral principles. Ethics are the exemptions and beliefs. Ethics is the right and wrong. Ethics values is both individual. So organization may be devised ethical codes and the codes of conduct. Account and work in the public interest, and they have a duty society as a large. So the strong moral value are essential to the profession. So you will see this is the answer which is we need to look around. Yes. So objective of accounting profession, mastering the particular skill, development the ethical approach, acknowledge the duties. Objective, yes, rendering the services the highest standard. Account and code of ethics will help to achieve the objective. Like mentioned, principal, law, civil crime, yeah, damages, code of conduct, staff handbook, public interest, accounting firm, tax planning. Yes, so we can look around all these and we should be well aware of and we have up to date knowledge. Okay, we discuss about integrity, straightforward, honest, objectivity, uncompromised by bias. Yes, professional company maintain up to date knowledge, confidentiality refrain from the disclosure, professional behavior. So all. So as if you're working as a full time, so we should do the CPD. Yes, CPD is called continuous professional development. So at least we have to keep the record of 35 hours a year. Yes, we are professionally up to date knowledge, because if you don't have up to date knowledge, how you can give the information and provide services to your client? So that's why it's a crucial thing. We have to maintain up to date knowledge, and especially working in tax, and we should have industry information if we're working in audit. Otherwise, we can't really do audit properly. Okay, guys. Next, we're looking as a members. All we need to be follow these professional is threads, and we because these threads can be leads to the compromise our professional code of ethics. Okay, what those threads are: self-interest, having a financial interest in the client, depending upon the client's fees. We never do the contingent fees. Contingent fees, we save you this, you pay this fees. A detailed charge based on the hour they spend and whatever rate reasonable in the industry we can set. Having concern about the losing the clients, contingent fee. These are all self-interest if we have those. Self-review, discovering significant error when reflecting on work, like I mentioned earlier. So that leads to the objectivity can be compromised. Familiarity, personal relationship with the senior employees, husband, wife, cousin, relatives, accepting gift, holidays, yeah. That can be familiarity thread. Intimidation, treat to dismiss, replacement, litigation in the respect of an engagement. So that's all we need to be considered when we do, advocacy, acting on the behalf of an audit client which is dispute with the third party. So that can be leads to. Okay. Example of safeguard. So as a editors, we need to be, as accountant, we need to be development of leadership culture, stress, importance of fundamental principles, policies and procedure for quality and control and compliance with the fundamental principles. Policy that identify the threat, evaluate their significance, and identify the safeguard. Procedure that prevent the non-team members influence on engagement. Communication of policies and procedures to all staff. Either you member in practice or member in business, all we have to follow, we have to create the culture which is, yes. Okay. So member disciplinary procedures should be in place in our organization. Engagement and safe and rotating teams, not working with the same client will help us to reduce the fraud and the risk of the audit. Yes, reliance on the safeguard of the clients, all we need to. Okay, guys. Then next we're looking ethical conflict resolution if we have, obtain relevant fact, ethical issues involved, relevant fundamental principle you can think, establish internal control procedure, alternative course of action. So these are all the steps we can follow if we have conflict resolutions, yes, or how we can resolve the conflict in the best, in best manner. Okay, next we're looking issue of considering prior to accepting an engagement, independency, objectivity, management integrity, money laundering, resources, risk, fees, all these points we need to be considered before we are going to do audit. We are going to sign a contract which we call audit engagement, yeah, engaging with, and we need to be make sure. Okay, so when is the audit engagement? What is about how this work? Obtain work by recommendation, tender high risk needs through the research and preparation. If the offered assignment communicate with ongoing auditors and assess the independency, assess the commercial desirability of assignment engagement letter, and the engagement letter include the responsibility, objective, and the scope of audit, referring to the legislation and standard, reference to the inherent limitation of audit, what communication will take place, specific issues such as use of internal audit, deadline, use of expert, and the basis of the fees, how we can decide. Professional skepticism, what is meant by an attitude of critical assessment. Use of questioning mind necessary to prevent overlooking suspicious circumstances or from drawing incorrect conclusions. The editor should neither assume that the management is a dishonest or fail to question whether they are honest. This means an attitude that includes being alert to the condition, which may indicate the possible misstatement due to error or fraud. Documentation, it is fundamental for auditors to note down important conversation with the client, staff, and all this we need to look around. Okay, so ethical standard independency, auditors are to be given an impartial opinion about individual, about companies, yes. So that's we need to be. So we need to be think about, yes. So we need to be think about audit, yes. We need to think about ethical code, fundamental ethics, yes. Audit firm should not accept the appointment if there is a significant barrier of independence. Ethical standard, thread of objectivity, thread to the member in practice, and safeguard we need to apply. So these are all the list of the safeguards, guys. If you have question, you can ask, please. Difference personnel when providing non-assurance services, yes. So these are the safeguard we can put. Ethical standard confidentiality. Auditor have a duty to keep the client affair secret, except the certain circumstances. Authorized disclosures. Yes, client give the permission. Disclosure required by law. Professional duty to comply with the technical standard, protect the interests of the member, either your ATHE or any other awarding body. Duty not to disclose the client methods with the third party. Don't use the client information to use your gain. Yes, sharing the information to others. Okay, next. This is a principle-based approach and the rule-based. What is? So in the principle, rigorous, comply with the spirit, bigger picture, flexible by changing circumstances, promote development of skills and judgment, create culture, and encourage personal responsibility. But when we have a rule is a written clear cut. What is right and wrong? Because the principle maybe I think is a right. Child labor is a right, but child labor is not a right. Yes. So is a principle, is a morally. So we need to look around the ethical side of the business. Okay. So rule is passed by Parliament. If it's a crime if we don't follow the rules, and if we don't follow the principle, is a civil matter. It can be penalty, it can be removed. Disadvantage of the rule can be loopholes can be found. Yes, tick boxes mentality. Yes, not looking morally, just looking the rule. Disadvantage of principle, not easy to find right and wrong answers. Yes, testing on animals, like, yes, one group is saying right because protecting their generation and protecting human being as well, testing on monkeys and all, COVID-19 vaccine for suppose before. Okay, then there are the two categories of the law, criminal laws and civil laws. As I mentioned you before, civil is a civil matter between individual and criminal is between state and individual and is a punishable by fines or imprisonment. Okay, Financial Reporting Council also guide us about give the standard for this. International Federation of Accountant, we are all followed there, and there's ethical standards. Consultative committees, make and ensure that standard need to be changed. HMRC is changing the laws we need to be, and National Crime Agency, the rule we have to be followed. Okay, always, loan principle, which is mean if you're working in the public office, you also follow these ethics: integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, and honest. So, like, public officers should be honest. Okay, code of conduct is mean what the procedure or what will be the compliance. If you violate it, your job or we can. So, as I detailed, we have a duty toward the wider interests of the society. A code of practice, active leadership, buy-in from the employee, suitable training. Sustainability, meeting the needs of current generation without compromising the needs of future generation. Sustainable development, organizations should develop operation to coexist with the society and can achieve the long term future ahead, not the short term gain. Maybe we are buying the electric car, short term we're losing, long term we're gaining. Yes. CSR, corporate social responsibility. We are socially responsible to work in the best interest of the society, local job, local people, wider interest of the public, not certain group. Sustainability and financial profession, triple bottom line, three P's. We should be care about profit, planet, people, economic, social, or environmental. Yes, all we need to look around. Okay, risk can be positive, negative. We have a responsibility to minimize the risk. Responsibility of finance professional is create and promote ethical culture in our organization where we not steal, we not make our credit scoring. We should, work in the best interest of the society and the client. Type of risk can be internal fraud, external fraud, damaged reputation, operational risk. Yes, reputational litigation process, people, system. Yes, event risk can be physical, social, political. All we need to be. Key areas up to date we need to be. If you're working in continuous professional development, reporting and audit standard, ethical code, tax and company legislation, criminal laws affecting accountant and regulations. Okay, guys, I copy here the link for you to watch the video. Yes. So what you can do, watch the video. Yes. This, you can copy and paste it and you can watch in your time, please. Okay, there are some case studies like, Enron collapse due to the Arthur Anderson. They said the company is a going concern. Company have $1 million asset, but after a few months they not manage to pay the bills and they use the creative accounting under and overstated things. So that's, we shouldn't use the creative accounting. That's why the lot of audit standard, accounting standard we changed after this incident back in 2002, World Telecom and Enron. Okay, the rule-based and the principle-based approach, as we mentioned, further been explained in detail, and International Code of Ethics and Federation of Accountant and the Auditing Practice Board, all these, they work together to the best interest of. And ACCA is a member of, and we should follow as well their code of ethics. So that's all. Further is the reading chapter for you. Please, you can copy this link and make sure do before next lesson if we can. So what we'll do in the next lesson, we will be a discussion and assignment how we can prepare, how we can address these all the learning outcome within our assignment. Yes. Anybody, any question, guys? Anyone? Okay, if no question, those are listening, please, you can drop me email on my email address. And I hope, speak to you all during our next session. Thanks for listening and attending, and have a nice time. Thank you. Bye bye.